Listen, Alan.
Figure salary.
My son is in
You
prison.
can't run away.
Because of
You can't
Moira
run
Whelan,
away from people.
appointed to the appeal court,
Yes.
breaking
As
every
law of the man.
Christmas Eve, my son's in prison.
Listen.
She was appointed.
You are on a
I'm going in here. Appeal court. Alan was appointed. Leo Bradford broke every rule in the book. You're accused of Moira Whelan. You must answer questions. You must answer questions, Alan. My son is in prison. My son is in prison because Leo Bradford broke every rule in the book. Moira Whelan, you know, didn't apply for the position. Procedures were bypassed.
Moira Whelan should not be on the
At the
court of
cabinet
appeal.
table, Alan.
What do you have to say
What
about
do you
it,
have
Alan?
to say?
Enoch
Enoch Burke, you're on age.
Absolutely.
Enoch Burke,
You're a disgrace.
you're on a salary
You are a
of
disgrace.
100,000. You have a duty to the people.
Denying the people.
Listen,
What
guys.
Denying us
do
our
you
constitution.
What do you have to say? What do you have to
Denying us
say?
our constitution.
I say,
Enoch
What do you have to
Burke,
say?
in Mountjoy.
We're just here in Castlebar, and Alan Dillon, the Fine Gael TD for Mayo, has just got back into his car and ran away because he can't answer questions about Moira Whelan on the Court of Appeal, a judge who should not be there. Enoch Burke in prison. She put him behind bars, and he's got out now. He's running away because he refuses to answer any questions.
It's important to remember that Moira Whelan didn't even apply for the position. She was appointed in 2017 by Leo Bradford when he was appointed as Taoiseach in 2017. This is one of the first big jobs he did. He pushed his crony Moira Whelan, who was Attorney General, he pushed her into a position of an appeal court judge. She spent no time in the lower courts, not in the circuit, the district or the higher courts. She was a legal advisor, that's all she was. And Leo took her and pushed her into the appeal court. This was condemned by every opposing party. They asked her to step down. Micheál Martin said her appointment stank to high heaven. He said it was squalid. Roisin Shortall had said it was politically naked. Even Brendan Howland, Labour, said that there was no objective test. Every rule in the book was broken. And sadly, my son Enoch Burke sat in front of her with her transgender ideology, political cronyism, a friend of Leo Bradford, pushing transgender down our necks. And because he sat in front of her, he was denied his constitutional rights to a religious belief.
She put him behind bars.
She put him behind bars. He's behind bars Christmas Eve. That's where he is. He's behind bars in Mountjoy prison with criminals. And Alan Dillon has nothing to say. Alan Dillon, who's feathering his nest, elected by the people of Mayo on six figures, has absolutely nothing to say, will not answer. This is not acceptable.
We met Alan today. We spoke to him outside. If you turn the camera around there, you'll see where we are. We met him, we spoke to him, we asked him questions, and he would not answer a single question. He wouldn't say a word. That's the state we're in. We cannot
accept that our constitutional rights are being taken from us. We cannot accept this. The judiciary should be separate from the executive.
Politically
but
appointed
now we
judges.
have political appointed judges. This was nakedly political. Procedures were bypassed. She didn't even apply for the position. There were High Court judges wanting that position, but Leo rushed her in to the Oris, got it stamped, got it approved, with Charlie Flanagan and Franz Fitzgerald refusing to answer questions to the Dáil. And because we have a weak opposition in Micheál Martin, the Taoiseach at the time, he said he was going to press the nuclear button and stop this because it was squalid, but Micheál didn't do that. We're calling upon Micheál Martin now to press that button, to stop what's happening. The citizens of this country have no rights anymore. We have no rights. We have no constitutional rights. My son is in prison.
And the result
He's in prison because he will not accept transgender ideology. Our constitution grants every citizen in this country a right to their religious belief, to have it and to practice it. And that is why we have a judiciary separate from the executive.
Protect the
when
citizens.
the executive grows
Overreaches.
strong and overreaches and pushes ideologies down our necks that take from us our rights, then you go to the
Absolutely.
judges. But Enoch went to the judges. He went to the appeal court. He's sitting in front of Moira Whelan, who shouldn't be there. All the politicians agree she shouldn't be there.
And we see the
So
result.
why are we accepting this?
We see the
We're
result.
calling upon the
A
people
man
to
behind
rise
bars.
up. Call upon your politicians. Our rights are being taken from us. It's wrong that Enoch Burke is in prison.
Yes.
He has constitutional rights. But when we ask Alan Dillon to explain
He has
what does he
nothing to
think
say.
of Moira Whelan, he runs away. This is not
He runs.
acceptable.
It's not acceptable.
This is not
And we don't accept
acceptable.
it.
We don't accept it. It's absolutely disgraceful.
Christmas Eve in Castlebar.
And he has a
Christmas Eve in
duty.
Castlebar.
Alan Dillon has a duty to his constituents. He has a duty to speak to his constituents. And it's a description now of the corruption in our courts, that he has to run away when we ask a question about Moira Whelan. He has to get back into
Yes.
his car and drive out. That's how bad things are,
Yes.
and we're not accepting it. The
No.
result of Moira Whelan, 2017 appointed, the result today is a man behind bars because
Yes.
he won't bow before the altar of transgenderism. He won't surrender his beliefs. That's the result, and we're not accepting that, and no
And
one
we are
should.
losing. We are losing our democracy.
Yes.
We are losing our
We are.
freedoms in this country. We are losing our freedoms. We
Yes.
are losing our rights. We will soon be no longer a free country. We will no longer be a democracy unless we stand up to this
Yes, we must
dictatorship
stand
of
up.
Leo Varadkar.
We must stand
We
up.
need to stand up against
Yes.
the dictatorship of Leo Varadkar. Every school in the country, primary, secondary, third level, transgender ideology, the ideology of Leo Varadkar is being pushed down our necks. We have massive problems amongst our young people with mental illness, stress, and every other problem that you could envisage. And yet this is being pushed upon them, this ideology of
Yes.
transgenderism, that they must decide what they are, that they must decide whether they're a boy or a girl.
What a
It's
disgrace.
absolute insanity. And we're calling upon the people today to rise up. Enoch Burke shouldn't be in prison. He's done absolutely nothing wrong. He was a top-class teacher. He was a law-abiding citizen. We do need to hang our heads in shame this Christmas.